Hey there, welcome back. So we have the new chapter of One Piece, 1137, I believe. I am still very sick. If my voice sounds off, or I apologize, okay? It's been a week. I can't get rid of this cold. But doesn't matter because that ending. That ending? Are you kidding me? Everyone's as excited as I am, right? Oh my god. Was not a surprise, but I'm so happy. Anywho, chapter starts off with Luffy and the crew going to the castle. We learn it's been 14 years since the king had been killed allegedly by Loki. I'm saying slander. Notably, what was it, 6 years since Loki's been tied up, though. So he was running around doing whatever for a long time before Shanks showed up. Also, 14 years of the bodies of the giant guards and everybody just decaying in basically a pit or an open room, and no one's allowed to go there. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, already something is off. Like, it's destroyed. There's rubble everywhere. No one thought to rebuild for the next oncoming king. Questions already. Loki slander is all I got. But when they arrive, Zoro says that there's damage to the door here. It looks like someone busted out. And initially, my tinfoil hat took over for a minute. I'm thinking, wait a minute, the king locked the door, and Loki, as a child, probably had to bust out of there, and maybe they were actually involved with Mother Carmel, and they were still doing like the human trafficking thing or slavery, and one of them busted out. And then the next panel is him saying like, "It looks new." I'm like, "Oh yeah, those God's Knights people, they teleported into the castle and busted out." I gotta put stop letting the tinfoil hat take over so often, so quickly. So Luffy runs in looking for the key, calling Road Rodo or something like that. Love his nicknames, always a delight. And I actually become a lot more sympathetic to Road in this chapter, and I kind of like him now. He's telling the story about 14 years ago, Loki allegedly killed the king, and all the 100 guards who stood by to stop him were also slaughtered. And it's been only, what is it, the guy with whose helmet saved him. Totally saved him. There's not a sword going straight through his head. Was the only one who survived. So I no longer trust him. Not that I trusted him to begin with, but he knows something. And it's been forbidden for anyone to visit. It's a valley for the dead, or ghost, or a den for vengeful spirits. And I'm just like, tinfoil hat took over again. I'm just thinking they were doing experiments for the world government because Eam wanted to talk to Lily, and they were trying to resurrect the dead or speak to the dead, and all of Elbeth will become the underworld. And again, I need to stop letting the tinfoil hat take over. It's probably the cold or flu talking. What if Drawl, the guy with the sword through his head, is actually a zombie? And it's like, no, my helmet saved me. I'm not dead. But he is. I don't know where this tinfoil hat keeps coming from. But regardless, if coming to the castle is so forbidden, but to the point that they would leave their dead there without proper burial or anything like that, they're hiding something in this castle. There are guards in the castle, though, because not Shanks took them out, or not Shanks' sister took them out. So the guards are guarding something. Or because they weren't keeping people out, they were on the inside of the castle, not the outside. What are they hiding in this castle? Work or experimentation for the world government? They are doing something sketchy in this castle. Looking through everything, Luffy finds a skull that has horns on it, and we learn that that person must have been from the ancient warrior giant race, so a different race of giants, and that there are no remnants of that line left, but the blood still flows through that line. And Luffy had said, I wonder if he's related to Oars. And I'm just thinking, hey, if the bloodline that Oars had still exists, then maybe we get a chance for Usopp and his 8,000 men to go off against like Oars Jr. And I want that. I really, really want Usopp's story of fighting and defeating Oars single-handedly to be true. However, then we get into like racism among giants and how they look at outside clans to be lesser than and polluting the Elbathian line, their bloodline. So when Hyruden's mother came and the king had a child, Hyruden, with her, she was ostracized along with her child because she's from an outside land. And I'm just thinking of Saul and how he's welcomed here, but he is maybe a little bit away from the village. He's just with the library. It's fine. I think they've gotten over all that. But he also had a negative impact when Robin had said, "Oh, you must be from Elbaf." And he's like, "No, I'm not part of that savage race," kind of thing. So racism among giants was not on my bingo card, but good to know that they're just like humans. We learned that the king also had horns, so he had that ancient warrior giant blood, but he ripped off his horns, and Zoro seems like, what, conviction? I'm like, fair. I'm also getting mild Kaido vibes. Kaido had horns. The king's armor or whatever kind of had dragon scaly kind of look to it. Unlikely to be anything, but I mean, Kaido's big. Kaido had horns. But Big Mom apparently wasn't a giant, so who knows? However, I am still convinced that the king must have been a horrible father. I already went on a rant about Loki and the prophecy, and everyone's judging him from the day he was born and blaming all these catastrophes on him that he had no part of, so could not have been raised properly with love and care that everyone was judging him like that. But now I learned that the former king had a child with this woman and just allowed her to be ostracized. Ridiculous. But because of that bloodline, Hyruden was not fit to be the heir, not fit to be king and rule Elbath one day. And him and Loki are half-brothers, and heavily implied that Loki was the son that Hyruden had with the queen. So Loki would have been raised in the castle while Hyruden was out, not raised there. And that's where we get Rhodes development. As Zoro says, if you were so concerned about this tainted blood, why did you join Hyruden's crew? And we get a flashback of giant kids picking on Rogue, calling him a nerd and beating him up. But Hyruden, seeing the maps he was making, was like, "This is awesome. Teach me how to do it. Do you want to be friends?" And just that friendship from a young age. He was always honest, straightforward, and kind, unlike Road himself. So he's just like, my dream is to see his dream become fulfilled, for him to unite all the giant races and clans, and I believe he can do that. And I love it because Zoro, who's been insulting him from the minute and threatening to take his head off a couple chapters ago and telling him to shut up, is just like, yeah, I've heard this common normal dream before. No big deal, I'm not interested. Because that was basically him a while ago. He was willing to give up his own dream to see Luffy achieve his dream. Not that every member of the Straw Hat crew wouldn't do the same thing, but I'm like, I love it, you're bonding, it's adorable. Nami, meanwhile, is... Oh, I love her with Road too, because at one minute she's like, "Oh, I'm so happy you're here, Road," and the next is like, "Don't suck up to me." Like, sometimes she's being sweet to him, sometimes she's being mean, and it's kind of hilarious. I do love it. But just as Luffy finds the giants that have been knocked out by Not Shanks' sister, Gunko, I think her name is, but I like Not Shanks' sister better. We cut to Loki, who is being oh my god, beat to a pulp by Gunko as we see her devil fruit in action. So her legs have been transformed, her arm gets transformed at one point in time, and there's these arrows that shoot out to show the trajectory of the attack that she is going to use, but apparently you cannot counter it in any way. She's the only one who can change it. There's no way to avoid the attack, even though you know it's coming. And Loki's like, "I wouldn't be in this position if I wasn't tied up. You wouldn't have the upper hand like this." And Not Shanks is just like, it wouldn't matter. The outcome would be the same. And again, they offer him the position as a God's Knight. Join, become a celestial dragon, work for us. And he again refuses. Repeatedly, he refuses. So if Loki wants to get out so bad, why wouldn't he take this deal? Does he think he can't backstab them? Does he refuse to be part of the organization that probably killed his father, or that his father was manipulated by, that is working against his home, even though his father, the great king, I don't like the king, he's going to be the big villain of this arc, I can feel it, had tried to join up with the world government instead of being their own island nation separate. He hates these people more than he wants freedom. And all his friends slash pets, the beast of the forest, got like spikes down through them. They're hurt, and she's about to kill him. And she's like, just say the word and this ends. And he just screams. Desperation. At first, I'm like, is he giving in or what's happening? But then we get the page with the reveal of not Shanks' entire face, as he's saying it's no point. He would resign himself to death before before joining us. Not all pawns are useful, or not all pieces need to be in play, whatever he says. And there are no scars on his face. We finally have confirmation that this is not Shanks, and I am so happy. Fingerlin Shamrock. I don't know if I like the name. I really don't. Don't care. It'll grow on me. I can't believe this. He's got a little braid in his hair. He's armor slash fancy suit under his coat. I'm excited. I'm very, very, very excited. All these years since Marie Joie were like the theory that I did not see coming. Someone told me about it, but I'm very happy they did. Evil twin. And I'm like, are we gonna get an evil twin? We got an evil twin. I'm so happy. I don't even like evil twins in stories. Here I want it. I want it so bad. And we got it. And I'm so happy. I was half thinking, well, maybe Shanks went through some kind of weird mirror that made a doppelganger. We've obviously seen clones before. Maybe something else could be happening. But it says at the bottom, like, son of Fingerling Darling, whatever his name is. I'm so happy. But we end on the note that he's saying, long ago, the people or the savages of Elbath ruled the new world, but we will bring them to heed or heal. And I'm assuming he's bringing him back up, or those two themselves are just going to take them all out. I'm... What a note to end on, because I can't wait to see what his powers are, what skills he has. Is he like Shanks without a devil fruit, master swordsman, hacky? I don't even know what to expect going forward. Kind of do like the idea of them doing experiments in the castle, trying to cut into the afterlife, cut through the barrier, and all of Elbath could become the underworld. Not gonna lie, I like that tinfoil hat idea. But I will talk to you later. I need to go have a nap again. All right, bye.